Aesthetics versus mass. We got the mass monster right here. Nice and huge. Got a little bit of a gut. Then we got Mr. Aesthetic right here. Shredded up with the biceps. You know how it go. In this video, we'll go over the pros and the cons of both. And we'll also go over my personal experience being a mass monster versus Mr. Aesthetic. And we'll also go over which one is better, which one's more ideal, which one is better for whatever season you're going through. This is all going to come down to your goal. Is your goal to build a lot of muscle? Is your goal to become a bodybuilder? Is your goal to attract? Is your goal to feel good? Is your goal to be healthier? These are all questions you must ask yourself. All right, first up, we're going to do mass. Real quick, if you want this to be you, I made an aesthetic extension course that holds your hand on how to become aesthetic, and there's a community of people on the inside. It's only $25 a month and you get full access to the course and all the people inside. Check it out, link in the description. Mass. Pros versus cons of being a mass monster. We'll start with the pros. First up, you can have more calories. What does this lead to? You're more anabolic, you're more sensitive to muscle growth. So you will generally grow more muscle. And you'll be stronger. What does being stronger lead to? Well, being stronger means you can move more weight. What does moving more weight do? It means your muscles will grow more muscle growth. Another benefit is you can absorb more nutrients. That means if you eat the right foods and you're eating more calories, that means you can hit all your micro and macronutrients much easier. And all your nutritional factors will be hit. You'll also look bigger in clothes. Clothes on your arms look a little bit bigger. You look a little bit wider. And you'll seem more powerful, more of a dominant type of presence. You also get guys calling you big if you're into that sort of thing. Guys will start to call you big because you will look a little bit bigger, right? And then you'll attract hardcore gym girls. I don't know if y'all have ever noticed, but gym girls that are very into lifting and they kind of look a little bit more masculine too, or even the feminine ones that are into lifting, they tend to like the really mass monster type with some cuts too, though. Usually like the roided up guys, to be honest. So if you are a mass monster, you'll probably attract the hardcore gym girls if that's what you're into. Cons. What are the cons of being a mass monster? Your face will get round. You'll start to get the cheeks. Your cheeks will get rounder, okay? You'll lose cuts and vascularity. Your veins, your cuts, they'll be gone. And maybe you get a little bit of a gut. Maybe you get a little bit of a gut if you take it too far, right? And what do all three of these things do? This leads to lower attraction across the board. You'll attract less people, less females. Of course, you can still be attractive and attract some. But just know, generally, a leaner version of you will attract more, okay? I don't know why people think this is rocket science. It's not rocket science. Usually, the leaner you are, the more attractive you are, okay? Acne can be an issue. When you're a mass monster, acne pops up. Acne can pop up. You'll become a little bit less athletic. Depending on your genes, some people can hold a lot more mass and be very athletic, but generally most people will be less athletic when they are a mass monster, when you are carrying excess fat. Oh yeah, another con, you will gain fat, obviously, when you become a mass monster. You'll become slower and stiffer, generally. Like I said, some people are an exception. You can get comfortable in this phase and never escape. There is a ton of people that get stuck in this mass phase. They never cut down, they never become aesthetic. This is because it's very comfortable. It's very easy to be a mass monster. Most people can do this very easily. It is not hard to eat excess calories and a surplus and gain muscle in this stage. The thing is, you always look a little bit fluffy, a little bit puffy, maybe kind of bloated. It's hard to get out of this phase if you are not disciplined. This is why so many people stay in that phase, like I said. You have to be disciplined to get out of the mass phase. Your health can deteriorate. Your health goes down whenever you put on excess fat that the body does not need. This is obvious, right? Obvious. So, what is my experience? Whenever I went through mass monster phases, I got acne. My face would always pop up with acne. I also became less disciplined because I started eating junk. I think a lot of people, whenever they go through a gaining phase, whether they think so or not, a lot of people do eat some junk, okay? If you have the discipline to not do the junk, being in this phase is very, very powerful. Oh, I definitely became slower and stiffer. stiff. I was so less unathletic when I went through these phases. I could literally feel like I couldn't move as well. Much slower, much less springy, much less explosive. Some people, like I said, will do better in the mass stage, but personally, I do not. This is all about what your body likes when it comes to athletics. Yeah, my attraction went down for sure. I am somebody that cannot hold on fat very well. My fat goes straight to my face whenever I go through a gaining phase and my love handles. That is where all my fat goes. It completely skips my arms. My arms stay skinny. I get that wide obliques and I get the freaking puffy face, okay? My cuts and my attraction go down tremendously during this phase. Let's move along to Mr. Aesthetic, the lean phase. Being nice and shredded up. Pros of this. You have veins, you have abs, you have cuts, you have a jawline, you have striations, you have all types of things that signal attraction and signal health. Really, attraction comes down to how healthy do you look. Whenever you're aesthetic and lean, you look healthier, right? And what does it lead to? Obviously, more attraction. More attraction leads to more huzz, more options, things of that nature, okay? If that's what you're into. Then you also become nice and athletic, fast, and springy. You become athletic, fast, and springy. You will be able to move better. You have better mobility, better control over your own body. And you'll be healthier. When you're not carrying excess fat, which is literally not good for your body, you'll be healthier, right? This, makes sense. You look healthier usually means you are healthier, right? Then you'll turn a lot of heads, not just from girls, from everybody. From everybody. Everybody will look at you and you look different than everybody, okay? How many people do you know that are actually walking around looking like Mr. Aesthetic? Not many, right? Not many are walking around with a nice muscle base, a jawline, and abs. And this is also a huge sign of self-discipline. This is very hard to do. Very hard to do. It requires years of lifting and the discipline and self-control to not eat everything you see and not eat junk. Okay? So it's hard to do. Hard to do. Sense of accomplishment. When you do something like this, you feel accomplished with yourself, and you should. You should, because this is not easy to achieve, right? Cons of being Mr. Aesthetic. You'll be a little bit less anabolic, specifically if you're cutting. If you're cutting down and still stripping away some fat, you probably won't gain much muscle, if any at all. But once you get to about the phase of where you're not cutting, you're just maintaining, you'll still put on some size from there, right? You'll usually be light. Now, why is this a con? This is only a con if you're an athlete, right? If you're not an athlete, does it really matter how much you weigh? No, it really doesn't. But if you're an athlete, the more you weigh, the more mass you can hold, usually the stronger and more powerful you'll be, right? You might not be as springy and fast, but in sports, certain things are needed. You'll probably need a good balance between the two, which is probably about 14 to 16% body fat, right? Now, guys may call you small. This is a con to some people. Me, personally, I do not care at all, right? You'll be weaker. Quite simple, right? The less you weigh, the weaker you'll be. There's a reason why chubby and fat guys are usually stronger than the lean, athletic guys, right? Now, pound for pound, maybe not. But when it comes to brute strength, absolute strength, they'll be stronger. When it comes to pound and relative strength, that's a different story, right? Your pumps may be worse. They'll only be worse if you're eating not the ideal diet, right? If you eat the ideal diet, your pumps should maintain and should still be pretty good. But you have to have the right diet, and that's a little bit harder to do because you have less calories, which means it will be harder to hit your micro and macronutrients. You have to be locked in and dialed in when you are cutting or maintaining a Mr. Aesthetic physique, a lean physique, because if you do not, you'll suffer, right? You'll suffer. It'll be harder to do. And your pumps will not be as good because of it. Another con is that this is hard to do. There is a reason most people do not do this. There's a reason more people are millionaires in the United States than have a six-pack, right? Because it is very hard to do. Now, my experience, way more options, way more huzz. It's not even close or comparable, personally for me. Maybe in your situation it might be different. But for me, my attraction went up tremendously. My face got a lot better looking. And my body got a lot better looking. Girls will quite literally lust over you when you have this type of physique. My energy levels went through the roof. I feel way better and I feel like I could do a lot more. I don't have the brain fog and the stiffness and the lack of motivation like I did when I was in a gaining phase or a mass monster phase, right? I also, this ain't even close. This ain't even close, boys. I feel 100 times more athletic, okay? I am somebody that does not hold weight good when it comes to athletics. I need to be light, I need to be lean, and I feel great, and I can control and feel way more explosive of my body when I am light, when I'm lean. Well, I already said this, you turn a lot more heads, right? Not just from the hose. But here's another thing you get. You do get some hate. You get hate when you're pretty lean. I ain't gonna lie. You get some hate from guys. You get some hate from in general, right? Because I'm not sure why. Maybe they can't do what you do. That's for sure why. They can't. They don't have the discipline to get the way you look, right? Kind of weird. Sly comments, right? Very weird. Very strange. Another man hating on another man is very, very strange. So what should you do? Well, quite simply, it depends. What is your goal? Do you want to attract? Do you want to feel healthy? Do you want to feel good? Do you want more and higher energy? Well, then you should go the Mr. Aesthetic route. Get to about 10 to 12% body fat, okay? Even lower if you really want to look sick, right? And then if you want to pack on lots of muscle, want to eat more food, you want more strength, you go the Mass Monster route. You bulk up a little bit, right? But this is my favorite way to go through either phase. My favorite way to put on muscle is get to about 15% body fat, because I find anything over that, I start to feel bad and I start looking worse, a lot worse, right? So I like to get to about 15% body fat and maintain. If I'm trying to gain some muscle, I get to 15% and maintain from there, right? Maintain from there for a couple months, maybe a year or so, right? And then once I'm tired of doing that and I feel like I packed on some good size, I'll cut to about 10 to 12% if I want to look good, if I want to feel good, if I want higher energy. Because I generally do feel better at the 10 to 12% range. A lot of people may feel better at the 15% or even higher. It all depends how you feel. But if you want to look good, I'd go this route. If you want to be strong and pack on muscle, go this route. Now don't get me wrong, when you get to the 10 to 12% body fat range, you can put on muscle too, okay? I don't care what everybody says. Bulking is not the only way to put on muscle. You can get to a certain body fat and just stay there. As long as you're not seriously low, okay? You'll put on some muscle. Now, I also made a school community for people just like you that want to get aesthetic or have any fitness goals they're going through, right? In it, I have an aesthetic ascension course which teaches you and holds your hand on how to get aesthetic step by step. And this is only $25. That is an insane deal for a course and a community. Insane deal, insane value. Link in the description if you want to join the tribe today.